We usually think wisdom is something you find at the top, right? At the peak of success, when you finally made it. But what if the real truths, the ones that actually change you, are discovered somewhere else entirely? Not on the way up, but on that tough, challenging journey back down. That's the big idea we're diving into, and it all comes down to this one powerful thought.
I mean, just think about it for a second. The summit, it gives you this moment of absolute clarity, right? This incredible, wide open view of everything that's possible. But that clarity, it's kind of, well, it's abstract. The truth, that's not found in the view. It's forged on the way back down, in the mud, with the loose stones, in that simple, real struggle of just putting one foot in front of the other. So, this is exactly what our source material calls the truth of the descent. And really, it's a simple but totally profound idea. It's about reframing how we see our limits. They're not walls holding us back. No, they're actually doorways, inviting us to walk through and discover a much deeper understanding of who we are.
Okay, but how does this actually work in real life? Well, the story we're looking at zooms right in on this one single critical moment. Just a simple slip on a path that ends up being the trigger for a huge lesson. It really shows us how a tiny moment of physical instability can unlock the most solid, unshakable kind of truth.
So just picture it. You're halfway down the mountain, the path gets a little tricky, and then it happens. Something that seems so small, so insignificant. Your foot just slides on a loose little stone. I mean, we've all been there, right? You know that feeling, that stomach-lurching, split-second loss of control. And the way the feeling is described here is just so perfect. It's not just about being scared of falling. It's that sudden, razor-sharp awareness of the emptiness right below you compared to the solid ground you were just taking for granted a second ago. It's that deep, gut-punch shock, the real difference between support and, well, nothing. And here's the key takeaway. The slip itself, that's not the lesson. The feeling of the slip, that's the lesson. In that split second, your body tells you something profound that your mind usually tries to ignore. Hey, I can't do this all by myself. It's that instant where you're forced to come face to face with your own very real, very human limits.
So this brings up a pretty fundamental question, doesn't it? It's one the character in the story asks, but it's also one we all ask ourselves at some point. After you stumble, after a failure, you can't help but wonder, is this bad? Does falling mean I'm weak?
But the story's answer to that is a huge, resounding no. A fall isn't a failure. It's a teacher. And it has a few really important lessons for us. First, it reminds you that, hey, you're human. You're not invincible. That quick flash of fear, it actually expands your awareness. It makes you totally present in the moment. And the struggle to get your balance back, to just hold on, that's what matures you. And maybe most importantly, you learn that a fall is just an event. It's not your final destination. It's not permanent.
So what happens is, when we stop fighting against our own boundaries and just accept them, something really powerful shifts. We can finally start thinking about the bigger picture, our true potential, our place in the universe. And we can do it from a much healthier place. Not from arrogance, but from a kind of grounded, real humility.
All right, so later that evening, the physical journey down the mountain takes a break, but a whole different kind of descent begins. This one is intellectual, and it happens around a campfire. The conversation shifts to one of the most complex, most essential, and honestly, most misunderstood parts of who we are, the ego. So, just to make sure we're all on the same page here, what exactly is the ego? Well, in this context, it's really simple. It's the I. It's the tool our mind uses to become aware of itself, to draw that line between me and the world out there. It's basically our fundamental sense of self. But here's the big paradox, isn't it? If the ego is just our sense of self, why does it get such a bad rap all the time? A character in the story asked the question that I think is on all our minds. How can this one thing be both a danger and a tool? And the story answers this with a brilliant metaphor. The ego is like a mirror. Think about it. A mirror is an absolutely essential tool, right? It's how you see your own face. That's the tool part of the ego. The danger? Well, the danger comes when you start believing that the reflection in the mirror is you, when you mistake the image for your actual self. You forget that you're the one doing the looking, not just the face staring back. And once you get that, it just changes everything. The goal then isn't to shatter the mirror. It's not about trying to destroy your ego. The real goal is to understand what it's actually for. So it's not about destruction, it's about education. This right here is the core principle. The ego isn't meant to be destroyed, it's meant to be educated. The whole point is to learn how to use that mirror correctly, to see our reflection clearly, sure, but without ever falling for the illusion that the reflection is all there is to us. So, what does an educated ego actually do? Well, it kind of acts like a steward. It helps us realize that all the things we call mine, my body, my talents, my ideas, aren't things we actually own. They're things that have been entrusted to us, things we're meant to take care of. Its job is to draw that line between you and the world, not to build some giant fortress, but just to create a healthy, clear boundary. And this is where we bring it all together. Because that physical journey down the mountain and this philosophical journey into the ego, they're not two separate things at all. They are deeply, deeply connected. This is the moment it all just clicks into place. That slip on the path from earlier, that raw physical feeling of hitting a limit, that wasn't just some random accident. It was the ego's classroom, happening in the real world. It was a lesson taught not with words around a campfire, but through the gut-level language of the body itself. Because ultimately, when you fall and you get yourself back up, something fundamental really does change inside you. You start to see beyond just your own reflection in that mirror. You see your connection to the ground beneath you, to other people, to something way bigger than just yourself. You learn that the line that defines you isn't a wall. It's actually the starting point for understanding everything else. And that is the true wisdom you find on the descent.